Speaker's Corner today moves a little away from the direct economic freedom charter approach. Although the subject, Heritage Day, is probably the most important issue to reflect on should we want to find economic freedom in this country. During this week, I had an opportunity to have a chat to two participants who are concerned South Africans looking for solutions to the problems in our country. The gentlemen, both of them in completely separate meetings, hours apart, when listening to what I believe is our need to help the communities, both without me indicating that there was any reason for us to be guilty, both said, "I have no guilt." We go further. Both of them said that I've worked for everything that I own. So here we approach Heritage Day, 2012, 18 years into our new democracy, and Heritage Day has become Braai Day. We celebrate Braai Day, Heritage Day as Braai Day, because it is one aspect of our mutual heritage that we both groups can celebrate. It's time for reflection, and this week I've had to reflect on my heritage in order to make decisions on where I fit into the category. I go back to probably my earliest recollection. I was born into a family who lived in a tin shack in our grandfather's backyard. When my mom and dad were able to afford a small piece of ground with a 2-room on it, they bought it, and we lived in that 2-room for a number of years. We had no bath. We used a sink bath. We used what was typical in those days, the bucket system. My dad worked shifts, shift supervisor at the gasworks, working in coal dust suit, black. I often visited him. You could hardly see, if it wasn't for the white coat, that he was the supervisor. At the end of the month, he'd bring home a litre of cold drink, small packet of sweets, and we shared it, the 6 of us. So my mom and dad worked. They worked for the house that they bought. They worked all their lives. My dad died relatively early, maybe the double shifts and the conditions that he worked in. I went to Model C school, free education. At the end of my school career, I was sent to the Johannesburg City Council because my dad came out of that background. I was sent to the Johannesburg City Council to apply for a job. By the end of the day, I was working in the same office where I'd applied for the job. I went home, employed. And I have worked very hard every day for the nearly 50 years since I left school. I worked for everything that I've got. Today I reflect on it. I reflect on what it may have been like if I'd been part of the privileged group. But my reflection also looks at what would have happened if my father was black. He would have been shoveling the coal. What would have happened if I was black? I wouldn't have got access to that first job. Hell no. Today I would be shoveling shit if things were different. As a matter of fact, I've been confused when they talk about the small band of privileged whites. I realize that I belong in that small band of privileged whites. Good gracious, imagine what it would have been like if I was not in that band of privileged whites. Yep, there's no doubt about it. I have a lot of reason to celebrate. But my celebration will not be the Braai. Let Heritage Day become the catalyst that moves us out of the comfort zone of celebrating with a Braai. Let us reflect. Let us build a new South African legacy.